The alarm blares. You groan, slap the snooze button again. 5 more minutes turn into 10. You finally drag yourself out of bed, already exhausted, already behind. You tell yourself today will be different, but deep down, you know it won't. You should be motivated. You have dreams, goals, responsibilities, maybe even a huge opportunity waiting for you. But instead, you feel stuck, like you're running in place while everyone else is moving forward. And then there's them. That one person in your life, maybe a friend, a coworker, or some influencer you follow, who just seems wired differently. They wake up excited. They hit the gym before sunrise. They tackle their goals like it's second nature. Life throws obstacles at them, but instead of slowing down, they push harder. While you struggle just to get through the day, they're thriving. So what do they have that you don't? More willpower? More discipline? Some secret hustle hack? No, the truth is way deeper than that. It all comes down to one thing, a hidden force inside you that determines whether you struggle or succeed. And it's something called self-determination theory. We're told that motivation comes from rewards. More money, a promotion, a six-pack. Hustle hard, grind it out, and eventually you'll want to keep going. But have you ever noticed how quickly that excitement fades? The raise that once thrilled you, now it's just your new baseline. The gym that felt empowering, now it's a chore. And soon, you're left wondering, what's wrong with me? Why can't I stay motivated like everyone else? But here's the truth. Motivation isn't about pushing harder. It's not about forcing yourself to grind through life. It's about unlocking 3 deep psychological needs that, when fulfilled, make motivation effortless. They are autonomy, competence, and relatedness. And once you align your life with these, everything changes. You stop needing willpower. You stop relying on hacks. Because motivation isn't something you have to chase. It becomes something that naturally pulls you forward. Picture this. A young artist, overflowing with creativity, dreams of making a living through their passion. But their parents have different plans. Get a real job, they say. So they do. A stable paycheck, a respectable title. On paper, life looks perfect. But every morning, they wake up with a sinking feeling in their chest. The office feels like a cage. The work feels soulless. No matter how much they earn, something is missing. Now, imagine that same person finally breaking free. They quit. They dive headfirst into their passion. The hours are long. The work is tough. But suddenly, they're alive. They're working harder than ever. Not because they have to, but because they want to. That's the power of autonomy. Research proves it. People are happiest and most motivated when they feel in control of their own lives. When we're forced into something, whether it's a job, a workout routine, or even a relationship, our brain resists. But the moment we choose our own path, motivation becomes natural. Even massive companies understand this. Take Google, for example. They gave employees 20% of their time to work on whatever projects excited them. No rules, no micromanaging. The result? Game-changing innovations like Gmail and Google Maps. Ideas that wouldn't have happened under strict corporate control. If you feel stuck, ask yourself, where can I take back control? It doesn't have to be quitting your job overnight. It could be as small as deciding when you work out, setting your own schedule, or starting a side project that excites you. Even small choices can reignite your motivation. Think back to when you were a kid learning to ride a bike. At first, it felt impossible. You wobbled, you fell, maybe you even cried. But then, one magical moment, you pedal, you balance, and suddenly, you're flying. That rush, that pure electric feeling of, I did it, that's one of the deepest joys we ever experience. And here's the thing, that feeling never goes away. As humans, we are wired to crave progress. Psychologists have found that we are happiest when we feel we're getting better at something. It's why people sink hundreds of hours into video games, because every new level, every unlocked achievement gives that intoxicating sense of mastery. In real life, though, we often miss out on this because we set goals that feel too big or progress that feels too slow. Take Kobe Bryant, one of the greatest basketball players in history. Did someone force him to wake up at 4 a.m. to practice? No. He did it because he was obsessed with getting better. Every extra shot, every extra drill, it wasn't about proving something to others. It was about the thrill of improvement. When progress becomes your addiction, motivation stops being a problem. Struggling to stay motivated? Stop focusing on huge end goals. Instead, set small, winnable challenges. Don't say, I need to get in shape. Instead, say, I'll do 10 push-ups today. Don't say, I want to write a book. Instead, say, I'll write 100 words today. Tiny wins stack up fast. And once you start winning, even in the smallest ways, you won't want to stop. Imagine two people trying to lose weight. One decides to go at it alone, relying on sheer willpower, watching YouTube videos, grinding through workouts in silence. The other? They join a group. They share their struggles. They have friends cheering them on, holding them accountable, pushing them when they feel like quitting. Now ask yourself, who lasts longer? Who actually achieves their goal? It's almost always the second person. Not because they're stronger, not because they're more disciplined, but because they're not alone. Psychologists have proven it. Humans are wired for connection. We aren't just social creatures. We thrive when we feel seen, supported, and part of something bigger than ourselves. It's why people stick with group workouts longer than solo ones. It's why communities of entrepreneurs rise together while lone wolves burn out. And it's why, no matter how strong you think you are, going it alone makes everything harder. Think about the Navy SEALs, the most grueling military training in the world. Why do they survive? Why don't they quit when their bodies are breaking down, when they're exhausted, when every instinct tells them to stop? It's not because they're superhuman. It's because of brotherhood. They don't push for themselves. They push for the guy next to them. And that's what keeps them going when most people would give up. If you're struggling to stay motivated, don't go solo. Find a friend, a mentor, or a community that shares your goal. Join a fitness group. Get an accountability partner. Surround yourself with people who won't let you quit. Because when you have the right people in your corner, motivation isn't something you need. It's something that happens naturally. If you've ever felt stuck, unmotivated, or lost, let me tell you something that might change everything. It's not because you're lazy. It's not because you're weak. It's because your environment isn't feeding your core psychological needs. The problem isn't you. The problem is how we've been taught to think about motivation. You don't need more willpower. You don't need another grind harder speech. You need to build a life where motivation comes naturally. So here's my challenge for you. Pick one. Autonomy. Take back control. Choose one thing in your life that you want to do on your terms. Competence. Improve a skill. Set a small, winnable goal that makes you better today than you were yesterday. Relatedness. Stop going solo. Find a friend, a mentor, or a community that lifts you up. Drop a comment below. Which one are you choosing today? Because motivation isn't something you wait for. It's something you create. If this hit home for you, don't just think about it. Act on it. Hit like, subscribe, and let's build a life where motivation isn't forced. It's effortless. Let's make it happen.